There you are, darling. Welcome back to my little theater of shadows. Tonight, allow yourself, just for 10 minutes, to dance on the edge of time itself. You see, not all clocks are honest. They do more than tick away the seconds. Some warp, twist, distort, and escape, just like the whispers of a life slipping through the cracks. This, my dear, is the story of the Morris clock. Have you ever entered an antique shop? Rows of forgotten treasures, the air heavy with dust, and decades of silence pressing down on you. Yet somewhere in the corner, something almost always catches your eye. A mirror, a box, an object that seems to gaze right back at you, as if it knows your name. That's what happened to Marie, a restless artist with ambition and barely enough to pay her rent. She saw it. A clock so seamless in design, its black iron hands moving against a milk-white face, encased in aged walnut. But what enchanted her wasn't its clarity. It was its irregularity. The clock didn't tick in time as it should have. No, every so often its second hand would skip. A beat. Just the faintest hiccup. Hic. So subtle you'd almost miss it each time. And then it would catch up to itself. Marie found herself hypnotized by this flaw. Her fingers skimmed the wood, reverence veiling her features before her lips obediently whispered, "How much for the clock?" When she brought it home, things seemed almost celebratory at first. That little apartment of hers, cluttered with sketches and charcoal stains, suddenly blossomed with inspiration. Marie painted like never before, as though the world's colors had bled deeper into her imagination. The clock skipped and hiccuped in time with her brush. She laughed about it when friends visited, calling it her quirk, except no one else quite heard those skips. "It ticks just like a normal clock," one friend told her, their amused smirk edged with pity. Marie grew defensive, but brushed it off. After all, inspiration doesn't need an explanation, does it? Ah, but oblivion is such sweet innocence, isn't it? So fleeting. Days turned to weeks, and Marie found herself gradually unable to separate time from the pulse of the clock. It always seemed to jump when she wasn't watching it directly. You know that odd sensation of realizing you've missed a part of a song, even though it never truly stopped? That's what it felt like. Sometimes she'd wake up, convinced she'd woken late or early, only to find the clock showed a time that was perfectly ordinary, perfectly wrong. And then the other things began. The sketches that seemed to draw themselves overnight. Someone's humming, off-pitch, loudest when the apartment was silent, coming from nowhere and everywhere. Did it come from inside the wood itself? She wondered. But it was what happened last Tuesday, or was it 3 years ago, that twisted the needle. Marie stared at the clock, that relentless skip-pause skip. She swore she saw the hand jerk backward, less like it had broken, more like it had fought something. That night she chased sleep fruitlessly, through hours that seemed elastic and strange. When she awoke, it was mid-evening. She screamed when she realized her reflection in her bedroom mirror didn't entirely sync with her. Marie's reflection mouthed words she could not hear, gestured slow warnings with elongated movements. Desperate, Marie reached for the clock and hurled it to the ground. But oh, it did not splinter. No. Those black iron hands merely sprawled like spider legs amid the glass shards. That had to be it, right? That was the end. But some stories don't let go just because you've turned away, darling. The next morning, her apartment walls had changed. The sketches that she barely recognized lined her walls, figures obscured in mist, forms familiar yet fractured. A clock hung on the kitchen wall, ticking perfectly with no irregularity, no crack in its face, no skips. And yet, Marie was not in her apartment. Not anymore. She'd reached for the door, found it jammed, and glanced out her window. But it no longer revealed any street she'd ever known. Rows of infinite corridors stretched outside her view, halls stitched together like uneven seams in a spider's web. Behind her, the clock chimed. Slowly, then faster, relentlessly. A deafening chorus that did not belong on this side of reality itself. Marie screamed. But what good is sound in the echo of the shadow world? You see, my dear, the Morris clock had merely fulfilled its purpose. It's not broken. It never was. Its skipping beat didn't count time. It swallowed it. Hic, gulp, skip, releasing its victims into a place where time stretches infinitely, crumbles, and folds upon itself like brittle paper. A prison with no beginning or end. Should you ever find yourself drawn to buying a clock that ticks just slightly out of rhythm, ask yourself, is it broken? Or is it breaking you? Don't worry, darling. It's only a story, isn't it? Until next time, your hostess of harrowing tales, Violet Nocturne, bids you adieu. I trust I'll see you again in the dark.